Yo, 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 check it out. We're back in front of the advent calendar doing another video. I thought I'd just try and get some of these characters on the go. So that's the lollipop man, Alan, that sadly left us, but still works around the corner at the art school, which is great. And then this is Kieran Globell painting Tracking with Clyde's door, which is amazing. And then we got a wee special guest from Booty here. Aye. It's all coming together. We're going to have this finished by the 21st for winter solstice, so if you're about on the Sunday, come and check it out. I don't even know if I'll get this video out before the Sunday, so if that's already happened, then I'm sorry. I'm going to try and do a wee tour of some of the legal walls today, in amongst some other admin bits and bobs, so come with me as I do that. My first job of the day is to do some postal orders. I struggle with this, right? I don't know what it is about it. Stop, think there must be a harder way. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels as though my brain can't really do one step in front of the other, but I'm going to try. It's quite sick, to be honest. I used to do them all manually, but when we opened the gallery, I decided to get Shopify. And somebody told me you can link Shopify to click and drop by the Royal Mail. And I did that, and honestly, it's just been a pure game changer. It's been class. It just takes all my orders and then just sends them straight to the Royal Mail website. And it's been a pure dream come true. And then I get to just print out the labels. And aye, it's a bit of a buzz. So that's what I'm going to be up to today. I need to try and stay focused. I often find myself just getting a bit distracted and checking Instagram and checking the analytics for the YouTube. That's my new obsession. I'm like, ooh, numbers. I've just uploaded a video right there and it's telling me it's my #1 video for the first 2 hours, which obviously makes me feel great. So cheers everybody for supporting the videos. It's pure class. I honestly feel as though I'm in a pure good position to do it, man. I'm feeling quite buzzing with it, so aye, big ups. Where to begin with the postage? I might kind of set up another angle actually, because it's quite fun to do that. This is the Zebra GK420D and it changed my life. Big ups to all the YouTubers that actually made tutorials about this thing, because without them, I probably wouldn't have got one. Now, we're not doing hundreds and hundreds of volume in here, but we're doing enough to warrant this bad boy. And I probably was doing enough before as well. I just didn't really think it was necessary. If there's anybody out there that has any tips and tricks when it comes to posting stuff, please let me know, because I'm currently using our scale for upstairs to weigh my packages, and I don't know if that's sound or not, but it works, so it's all right. I like that idea of something not being sound and maybe realising that actually it's all right. See if it gets the job done, it's all right. That's my wee para scheme brain going, am I doing this right? Am I not? I'll just quickly refresh YouTube just to get a wee dunt of dopamine to help me on my way with this mundane task that I'm about to try and tackle. I wonder if I could put tunes on, man. Sometimes what I do is I just listen to brown noise and that helps me focus. Aye, does anybody else have any kind of like focusing hacks? I'd appreciate that as well. I think often what you need to do is you need to just do the fucking task. That's it. There's loads and loads of like tricks and tips and all that, but actually just doing the thing. I think it's like Elijah or Skilliam. I can't remember which one. I think it's Elijah has a thing called close the app, do the ting. So I might do a Scottish version, which is just do the hing. Do the hing. Close your laptop, do the hing. But my hing's on my laptop. Oh no. Oh, there's Instagram. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Instagram. Let me get tuned into the Royal Mail account. I'd kind of love to be able to show you what this is like. Maybe I could. Do you think I can like screen record? So this is the main page on click and drop, and it's pretty sick because it basically says, here's your orders, right? And here's your orders ready to dispatch. and here's the total orders in the last 7 days. So we're not going crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's not hundreds and hundreds of orders, but it's enough. I know this probably isn't applicable to everybody, so maybe I shouldn't get too in depth, but I just really loved it. There's an amazing YouTube video actually that explains all this, and I'll maybe just link to that because it was really, really class, and the woman that's done it's sick. So aye, I'll leave that for you just now because nobody really wants to sit and watch this. It's probably boring as fuck. So what else could I talk about while I do this though? Because there's time for conversation right now. So although I might need to focus, so let's see what happens. See what comes up. Sometimes it's got like a wee warning and I'm like, oh, what does that mean? But it basically means it's going to Australia. So thank you to the person that's ordered in Australia. I'm not going to say your name because I actually think I know who that might be for potentially. Although I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. But let's look at that one. Let's go in. So I need a Hedography large, which is one of my t-shirts, and we keep the t-shirts in these things, which are really useful boxes. And they are really, really useful for class. Big ups to Mike Pickles, the guy who invented the really useful box. I got to meet him at the Riderz once and he was a total legend. He had a painting that Futura had done for The Clash, and I'll shine it up here. I pure couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe that this guy owned this painting and he was just cutting about the Riderz. He had a Takeshi Murakami jacket on, and so that was how we sparked the conversation. I was like, yo, that's a sick jacket, where'd you get it? And it led to there. A fun fact as well that I really like is one of my favourite artists growing up was Dalek, and Dalek is famous for doing these kind of like space monkey characters. Again, I will show them here. And I was just a big fan of them. They were in like Graphitism magazine and stuff like that back in the day. And they were just big eyes, popping style. You'll be able to see my kind of characters in them because they were a huge influence. I was listening to a podcast with him once and he basically explained that he became Takeshi Murakami's assistant because he wanted to learn how to get really, really flat colour and really, really solid lines. And I find that really interesting because to me, he was already like a mega, mega famous artist, or at least kind of famous in the graffiti and street art world. So it was interesting that he then went back to study under someone else who's obviously kind of massive in the contemporary art world. And it kind of taught me about the power of mentorship and the power of learning from someone else, I guess. Learning someone else's process. So that's pretty sick. I'd love to like clip in that wee bit from the interview. I don't know if it was a video or if it was just a podcast. I'll maybe try and put it in. So what else do I need here? Grateful OG small. So basically we've got everything set up in these really useful boxes. We separate them by size. That's kind of how it works, man. Trying to be as organised as possible, keeping them folded. Just get them as we go. Trying to keep them stocked up. We've got a few different colourways. I took this one of this new blue design that we got recently. So if you're interested, come on down to Grateful Gallery. We will be closed over Christmas. We actually close this Sunday. So if this video is out after that, I'm really sorry, but we're closed just now. But come and see us in the new year. That would be class. This is going to take a long, long time, I feel. And we always put in stickers as well. So we just got these new stickers. Because this one's going to Australia, I'm going to send a wee handful of stickers because it's pretty cool knowing that there's stickers on the other side of the world. And then we stick it on the scale, and then I say confirm. And then I think it's important to get this on camera because this is the best bit. What a satisfying noise that is. Oh yeah. It's honestly just such a satisfying noise. I think it's just class and I love it. I'm just going to focus on the postage now. One order is enough for you guys to see, I believe. And I need to focus and get my brown noise on. So, enjoy this wee time lapse. If it records properly as well, because I don't know. I've got a camera set up there, but I've no idea if it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. I've never done a hyperlapse before or something like that. So, we'll see. Check it out.
I don't know if I went to Boston to see the show. So, I went to high school in Japan, right? I grew up on that kind of anime culture just because, man, Gundam and all that kind of stuff was just what was on TV. It was what was in the culture around me every single day. So I got super into that art. And so I started kind of doing my thing. There was some influence there from American cartooning and some from Japanese stuff. I went and I saw this show at the Boston Museum. I was like, I got to go see it. I took the train up to Boston, went and saw the show just by myself and just geeked out on it. Just stood in front of the paintings for hours, wondering how the fuck he painted them that clean. His color palette was just ridiculous.
I've interrupted my ordering just to come back and show you something. So now I was talking about Dalek and I said, oh, my characters are kind of similar. So that's his. And then this is mine. So it's quite funny, the similarities. It always reminds me of one of the characters from, what is the Tom and Jerry characters in The Simpsons called? Tom and Jerry Simpsons. Itchy and Scratchy, that's what it is. It's the ears of Itchy. Wow, I've never noticed how similar that is, I guess. So that's a fun wee interlude. I'm going to keep going. Still got more orders to go.
So I was like, I got to figure out how this dude paints. I'm like, this is the person I need to learn from. I found a book, I think it's called From like Tokyo to London or something like that. And it's just a big group book of all these artists. And there are a bunch of email addresses in the back. And I was like, fuck it, man. I was like, I just got to New York, but I'm like, if I got to move back to Japan to work with this dude, that's what I'll do. And they were like, oh, we have a studio right up the street. So he was in and out of the studio, but he was there quite a bit. So I got quite a few opportunities to talk to him. But what it really helped me do was learn studio practice. I really saw how his studio was organized, how things were built. Before that, I was literally painting at a coffee table.
So we're closed Mondays and Tuesdays, but people tend to come in and try and collect things and buy things when we're closed, which is pretty good. That was actually my wee pal Junior, who is just like such an inspiration, man. I always feel as though seeing young people who are just super, super into graph and street art and just drawing and being creative, it's really, really cool. Junior's been coming to see me since I had my stall at the Riderz. He borrowed the One Up book for me, which was amazing, and then he brought it back to me, which was just really, really nice. It's just really cool to see him just getting dead into it, and it reminds me of my younger self, basically. It's always pretty funny to see that because you know what it's like to be young and to be interested in something and just getting into it. And you want to know everything and you want to find everything out and you want to be part of it. And I guess I just really love it because I used to go to a shop in Paisley called the Seventh Chamber. It was run by a woman called Helen Bain. Rest in peace, Helen. That was a place that I could go and just hang about and meet graffiti writers and ask people things and just be around the thing. And it was amazing. The gallery isn't exactly like that. People do come and hang about, but I don't know, it's quite funny to think that we were just rocking up to some shop in the middle of Paisley and just kind of hanging about. I think we used to go on a lunch break and then we'd kind of just like dog the second half of school. And it's quite funny to think that would happen now. I almost don't think it would happen now. I feel as though the world's changed so much now that you just wouldn't really get away with that. Somebody would report you or something like that for having kids dogging school in your shop. But for me, it was transformative. It was the place that I first heard Loki's music. She had a copy of his Welcome to the Ninth World CD and it blew my mind. I remember hearing some of those first tunes and just being like, what? And I actually want to just play a wee bit of one of them now, right? Because it's crazy to think that I was sitting in a shop, I was about 14, 15 and hearing this for the first time and it just totally blew my mind.
who shot ye? It wasn't me, I'm terrified of guns. I'd pray to get them banned, but I'm petrified of nuns. Magdalene sisters, I was there, you lying cunt. So what, call the cops, man, I'll testify for fun.
So that track just totally blew my mind, and I just feel as though it was so class to discover that at such a young age. And there's almost like a wee bit of pain in my voice as I say that, because I feel as though there's some magic in that just feels so alien now. And I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's because back then it was just when social media was starting to begin, but I didn't have social media. I maybe had like MSN Messenger at the time, and you could find out things, but you couldn't just have access to them straight away. So going to this shop gave me access to stuff. It gave me access to that music, but it also gave me access to the people. And I think that was a big thing for me, was having access to the people and the stories they were telling and the culture around those people. Helen used to sell paint, and loads of graffiti writers used to come in, and we used to sit and smoke weed in the back room, and it was just a bit mad. It was crazy. So, but I think having access to people there was like a reason to go there. You wanted to go there because you wanted to meet people and you wanted to see people and you wanted to kind of like know the script. And I think for me, that was really, really important and really pivotal in my kind of evolution as a fan, basically. I don't know, just as a human being. It's quite funny. The first time I ever got drunk was there. The first time I ever smoked weed was there. It was like good, but it also maybe kind of led me down certain paths. But it also gave me access to this world of Scottish hip hop and Scottish graffiti. It was mind blowing and I loved it. And I'll always remember being there those days and just loving it, basically, just like spending loads and loads of my time there and just feeling as though, wow, this is like where I'm supposed to be. And I don't know if young people have that anymore. I would like to have a space eventually where young people can come and hang about and kind of do that, but maybe we hung about there because of what she sold. I think that's a big part of it. And I don't know, young people are only going to come and buy art, so we're maybe in a different ballgame, but maybe one day I'll start selling paint and then I can be the youth worker for all the youngins, because I think I'd quite enjoy that. And I don't know, there's something kind of in my soul that kind of loves that idea of being the place that I once spent time in, basically, and expose people to good things, but also give them good advice. I feel as though like I didn't really have kind of men in my life growing up, and I had all these guys, but we were all young. And I feel as though if I could be like a positive male role model for anybody, that would be amazing. So much love to Junior. I always hook him up because I know what it's like to be young and passionate and interested in something. So if you're young, passionate and interested about street art and graffiti, come and talk to us, because if you're a parent that has a young, passionate, interested teenager, child, anything that wants to get involved in this stuff, come and bring them in the gallery and talk to us, because we don't do workshops and stuff like that, but we can definitely just give them some chat and help them out and point them in the right direction of where workshops are. And you never know, never say never. We might start doing workshops at some point. So much love, as always, to the man Junior. And big ups to his mum and dad and his family for always bringing him in. It's really, really nice to see. They're doing him proud, man. So I'm on my final order of the day. It's taken me an hour and a half to do those orders. I'm actually leaving one until tomorrow because it's a big A2 print and it's a bit more complicated than my brain can handle right now, so I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. I also need to get it from upstairs, and I've left the house for the day, so I've resigned myself to just doing it tomorrow. So it's a bit of a slog doing postage, but I do always try and remember to be grateful, because it's a blessing to be able to sell work and live life as an artist. That is the main thing that we're doing here, is we're trying to live life as artists. In the world we live in, you need to make money to survive, which is infinitely frustrating, but I try not to concern myself with that too much these days. I try and just accept it and embrace it, because I used to really, really resist it and think it was massively unfair and unjust. And I still kind of do. But see, unless I'm going to try and change it, there's no point in me getting annoyed about it, because I'm just wasting there's no point in me getting annoyed about it because I'm just wasting my energy. So I think that's the thing. If you complain about something more than 3 times, it's your responsibility to change it. But see if you're not going to change it, or you're not at least going to try and change it, then you should probably stop moaning about it and just learn to live with it. So aye, grateful to do the orders, grateful for people buying our stuff. Keep them coming. I would like to keep going. We are going to close the shop, as I said, over winter, but I'll probably still be coming in and out doing orders because I just love work. Nah, I actually just don't love coming back to a big pile of work. That I've found is not a good thing. I've actually created a bit of an admin debt the past 2 weeks. I've got a bit of a habit of ignoring messages and telling myself I'll get back to them and then not getting back to them. And then before I know it, I've got like 20 messages to reply to, 20 emails. It just builds up and I feel as though I do it to torture myself a wee bit. And I wish I didn't because it's unnecessary stress. So I think at some point today, I'm going to try and dedicate a wee hour just to rattling through them and hopefully clear the decks. I guess I just wanted to say that's me done up to this camera because you've just been sitting there patiently doing a mad time lapse, and I thought it would be quite cool for the time lapse to fly and then land back here with me chatting. That's the nature of cinematography, bruh. Shout out to everybody buying stuff from the Grateful Gallery website. Another thing that I'd be interested in is, does anybody have any good storage solutions? We've got really useful boxes, but I don't know, just for like storing badges and different things like that, it'd be really good to be able to do it. I think here's some tourists. Hi there.
We closed.
Aye, we're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, unfortunately. I'm just in doing some postage. Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
No worries.
Cheers, man.
And then our shop, yeah?
That's quite funny. I quite like it when people try and come in, but it's also a bit sad because you obviously want to let people in to see things. But I must continue on my journey to the post office. I'm going to go down to the post office and then I'm going to go down to Clydeside to capture the legal wall because it's been years since I've been down there taking a video, and I think it would be really, really cool to see what it's like just now. It's always changing, so I don't actually know what's down there. There might be a big massive painting, but it might also be gone. So who knows? Pretty excited to get it if it's still there. I've kind of slept on it, but aye, today is calling me. The sun is still shining. I've still got a couple of hours of sunshine. I just need to get some food in my belly, but once I've done that, Clydeside bound, so stay tuned. Back onto Saki Hall Street, man. My favourite street in the whole entire world. I'd love to make an exhibition about Saki Hall Street one day and my journey of falling in love with it. I got sober on Saki Hall Street, which I think is why I love it so much. I also used to get mad out all the time on Saki Hall Street, so played a big part in my party days, I guess, and drinking days, but also now my sober days, which I appreciate. So it's class. Venomized strikes again. I've managed to bump into him a few times now, and it's really, really funny, man, really class. It's actually his own cat that he's pasting up everywhere, and I love that. I love the fact he's actually just celebrating his cat. Oh, there's something else that I find quite funny. So WH Smith changed its name to TG Who's? TG Jones. Jeez, I don't even know what the fuck it's called. Aye, they changed the name to TG Jones, but obviously everybody just knows it as WH Smith, and it's hilarious because they've literally had to put signs outside saying your WH Smith is here. So aye man, I love it. I love Saki Hall Street. So much going on. And aye, loads to see. I also used to work on Saki Hall Street. I used to work in Route 1, which has moved now. So that's it there now, but it used to be where Black Sheep is. So I find myself in Black Sheep quite a lot, and I think it's because I used to work in there. And I just started painting the streets from there, and it was really, really good. I also wanted to show you this by Little Book Transfers. I think I've actually got some clips of this being painted which I can put in. I've actually got a bit of a kind of personal vendetta against this space because the British Home Stores building, which these boards are actually covering, has been sitting empty for about 8 years now. People used to sleep in the canopy, and so they boarded that up. And then the canopy that was sticking out over the street started to crumble. So instead of knocking it down or taking the building off the person that owns it, they've just built this big massive box around it, which now just like takes up even more of the street. And obviously it's good for us because we get to paint it. But I always just think like it's kind of mental that like people are getting into trouble for painting them. But actually people really love it around. It's always nice to see people taking photos of things. Aye, so it frustrates me because the British Home Stores building just been lying empty for so many years. That's like structural vandalism. Like, why should such a big part of a city centre be allowed to just sit and become derelict like that? And why is the council kind of taking responsibility for it and removing graffiti from it? I don't think they should be removing graffiti for anything like that. If anything, they should be saying to us, look, you're allowed to come and paint this. It looks like a fucking piece of shit right now, so come and help us out. And I'm sure artists would be up for it. But what artists would be even more up for was getting the keys and going inside and turning it into studios or turning it into, turning it into like an exhibition space. If somebody's not willing to take care of it, then I think it's the council's responsibility to take it off them. And I know that sounds a bit communist or whatever, but man, it's better than having that just stuck there like this. And this was the HSBC, which got vandalised the other day. I actually wrote a blog about fire extinguisher protests and activism and the crossover between graffiti writers and activists. So that blog's on my Colourways website if anybody's interested. You can go and check it out. So I'm back down Clydeside. It's been a few years since I've made one of these videos. And a lot's changed. This wall is actually now a legal wall. after much deliberation. And pretty chuffed with that, to be honest. And yes, the thing that I was hoping was still here is still here, so that's good. What a beautiful spot, man. I need to tell you, man, like, in terms of spots for painting, this is a pretty good one. South facing, so it gets the sun all day. And then it's sick to see this from Payne and Mac. These two are like absolute Glasgow legends. Back in the Duncan Cumming days, these guys were like the heroes of the land. Payne's got a big sort of rooftop in Tradeston, and Mac was just next level. The godfather of Scottish graffiti, his website said, and undisputable. And then this one's by Toots Spilled Ink. And then this is by Two Ton, and that's Blog up the top. I'm a big fan of Blog. I really like all his different styles. Aye. And then this is a new one from Froderick, which is really, really sick. And the one above is by Alco from a jam that was held here a good while ago now. But just as I was talking about Ross B-Side's technical ability, I think it's good to shout out Froderick's technical ability as well. I don't know, just this bit, man. I really, really love that. And obviously he's right good at painting animals and humans. It's great. And this is the wall that I was hoping to capture. So I'm really glad it's still here. I mean, check that out, man. What a spot. Aye, there's just something about that, man. So this was painted by the Easy Riders for Kneecap when they were performing in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago now. And aye, it's a screamer. Belfast, Gaza, Glasgow. I love it, man. It's got the Palestinian flag and the Scottish flag in the background. Two nations united. And I guess just big ups to the Easy Riders as always, because they don't fuck about. They've been painting for the past 26 years, I believe, as a crew in Glasgow, and they've really, really flew the flag for Glasgow all over the world. If you speak to people around the world, they will know one of the Easy Riders, usually Acme. He's like the head. It's kind of like Wu-Tang when they form like Voltron. He's the head. I'm kind of honoured to have known them most of my life at this point. They were there in those early days of the Seventh Chamber, which is quite trippy. And I think that's what I'm really interested about, kind of street art and graffiti culture. And I guess more generally just hip hop culture. You kind of meet a community of people that you get to know over years and years of time. And I think that's maybe what I love about hip hop culture so much, is that you build up a community of people and you go to the same gigs and you do the same things. And you just build relationships over decades. And that's special, and it gives you a sense of self, because without community, it's really hard to build a sense of self. And without a culture, I find it really hard to build a sense of self. I feel as though I get a lot of sense of who I am from the community that I'm part of. And Easy Riders are a big part of that. They always have been. And I just want to say big ups. And I'm so chuffed that he's got to paint it on this wall, because we need something like this around. We need a space like this in the city. And this is a moment in time, and it will pass. And I'm glad I'm getting to document it, because it's amazing, man. And I think this is what makes it such a sick wall, is its scale. It's fucking gigantic. There's not many walls in a city centre that are like this. I'm chuffed that the council eventually made it legal after a lot of hard work and a lot of pestering. Managed to get it done. Such a buzz. Go back and watch the video where I'm talking about them making it legal, and then go back and watch them painting over it, because what a long way we've came, but I'm pretty buzzing that we managed to make it and that we've managed to enjoy painting this wall. I need to actually come back and paint it soon, so maybe I'll make a video of me doing that next. And then this one's by Tayo or Teo. I've known him my whole life as well, and I still don't really know how he wants his name to be pronounced. An absolute belter. And then this is pretty funny to see. So this is a pane and a little book transfers beside each other. I love the details on this one. And it's interesting because Glasgow is showcasing a lot of love for Gaza here. So Payne is shouting out Gaza, little book transfers paintings about Gaza, and obviously this Kneecap and Laji Celtic are about Palestine. So you know how we feel around these parts. And then this one's pretty mad to see. So this is Avia, another one of the Easy Riders. And he was another legend back in the Duncan Cumming era. And it was pretty funny. I went to Bali once when I was travelling in Australia, and I was on an island called Gili T, and I saw an Avia piece, and it was just mind blowing. I pure loved it. Some nice wee details in here. And then this is a memorial piece for Clone, a boy that we all kind of grew up with in Glasgow called Alex. It's a shame, man, heard about him passing away recently. And so this is by honour. It's rest in peace, Clone. I really feel for him, man. Used to sit and beatbox and rap with him when we were like 15. It was mad times. Rest in peace Mode as well, he was about at that time. And then this says Frankfurt to Glasgow. It's pretty cool, you get a lot of tourists coming down here, checking stuff out. And then this was a memorial piece done for Jackmaster, which has kind of sadly been a bit destroyed now, but Jackmaster's Tweakaholic mixes are still some of the best mixes that have ever been made, and I highly recommend you go and listen to them because they're next level. So good. So that's Clydeside. It's good in summer, good place to come and paint. Feels a bit gnarly during the winter. Not much is happening, but good sunrise and good sunset down by the River Clyde. Would highly recommend it. Come and check it out, come and paint. If you're visiting from another country, make sure you come and put something up down here. Follow the rules, follow the unspoken rules as always. Aye, see how it goes. So I just spent like an hour getting that time lapse, and I don't even know if it's that good. But this Ferris wheel's pretty sick, so that kind of makes up for a wee bit. So aye, cheers for tuning in. Come back next time. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the mad good YouTube things, and aye, let's get me to 4,000 watch hours as soon as possible so I can make some money. Hell yeah, buddy. I'm away to get a munch now because I'm starving. Somebody just gave me a funny look again. I don't know if he wanted to chat, but aye, it's funny. I wonder if I can start streaming at some point. I wonder what that would be like. I could just cut about, just talking shit about things and commenting on what I see. Would you be into that? Can I live stream with this thing? Does anybody know anything about live streaming? Because I think that would actually be quite funny. I could do like live walking tours and seeing the sights of Glasgow and the madness of Glasgow as it happens. I don't know anything about going live. I've never done it, but aye, I'd be interested in it. So let me know if anybody knows how to do that, if anybody's got any advice, and if it's something people would like to see, hit me up. So aye, have a good night, Trip. See you later.